Disclaimer, I know everyone knows this anyway, but just so that it's clear and it's on the replay, I am not a qualified financial advisor. All right. I just want to put that out there. That's not what I am. What I am is a qualified life coach. I'm a qualified business strategist. I'm also somebody who's had multiple streams of incomes and multiple businesses for 15 years now. I'm also somebody who's interviewed very wealthy people and multiple millionaires and so on. And from all that experience, I've collated, the information that I believe is going to be best useful for you guys today. And that is what we're going to be diving into. So let's get into this. Today, we're going to look at a few shifts that we need to make with our mindset if we would like to be earning more money than we currently are. There's a phrase that I say, which is you need to be it before you become it. And I want you to write that down. You need to be it before you become it. All right? Now, let's just take a moment. What do I actually mean when I say you need to be it before you become it? You need to think, believe, act, walk, talk, behave like it's already done. Right? Now, some of you might be like, I'm not sure about this. This sounds a bit woo-woo and so on. Well, think about it this way. A great way of putting it across is fat loss, right? If your goal is fat loss, if you want to lose fat, if you want to get fitter, stronger, and healthier, you can't constantly think, act, walk, talk, behave like somebody who's unhealthy, right? If the goal is to lose fat, you need to start thinking, identifying that I'm a health conscious person. I care about my health. This is important to me. I believe in health. And you need to start acting in alignment with those beliefs. And then what happens is there's a lag time between being it and becoming it, where the results show up. Is this making sense? So that's what I mean by you have to be it before you become it. It's not fake it till you make it. It's start reprogramming your mind and acting in alignment with those beliefs, with the same energy and passion and attitude and confidence that you are a wealthy person or a fit and healthy person, or you are someone who's great in relationships. Insert goal, whatever that goal is, you have to be it before you will actually physically become it and see the evidence and results. People wait too much to have all the evidence, all the results, till they go, I start to believe it now. We don't always have that luxury, which is why mindset is the beginning and the end. Mindset is the thing that we need to look at. And that's why mindset is the thing that I'm covering in depth today. So we're going to talk about a few different shifts that we need to make sure we apply with our mindset if we want our outcomes and our reality to change. Now, there's a great book some of you will be familiar with called Think and Grow Rich. And it was actually first released in 1937. So we're well on our way to being, it's nearly 100 years old. If you just think how much the world has changed in that time, but still it's one of the most, as it says here, one of the most influential bestsellers of all time. It's still a book that people rely on and read and come back to because the principles, many of the principles have not changed at all. And I'm just going to read you a really short bit on this just to help really embed what I'm saying there. And also for you to recognize the same rules have applied for many, many years, right? It's not new stuff. Self-development and mindset and understanding the power of the mind. So this is a little chapter about faith. I'm just going to read you a really quick bit. It says here, all through the ages, religious leaders have admonished struggling humanity to have faith in this, that, and the other dogma or creed. But they have failed to tell people how to have faith. They have not stated that faith is a state of mind and that it may be induced by self-suggestion. And I want you to think about that. The book goes on to talk about there how we program our subconscious mind and our beliefs and our values by self-suggestion and what we're telling ourselves about the world and how powerful our beliefs are. But there's just a little bit here, a few pages later, where it says the law of autosuggestion through which any person may rise to altitudes of achievement that stagger the imagination is well described in the following verse. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win, but you think you can't, it is almost certain you won't. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For out of the world we find, success begins with a person's will. It's all in the state of mind. If you think you are outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but soon or late, the one who wins is the one who thinks he can. Nearly 100 years old, and still the same principles. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't starts with what you believe to be true. And a lot of you have heard me talk a lot about the success cycle. It's the same stuff. So we really need to continuously come back to what we believe to be true and what our values are, what our beliefs about ourselves, the world, what our beliefs truly are about money. So I just want you now, let's put a 1 in the chat. I want you to think about, what do you think is your biggest asset? What is your biggest, most valuable asset and your most precious gift in this life? Just share in the chat. There's no right or wrong. And I just want to see what people are saying. What do you think is your most precious, important asset, your most valuable asset that you all have on this call right now? So Jen's put health. Great. Anybody else? Family. Myself, says Lynn. Anybody else? Health, family, resilience, says Tiff. These are all great. Freedom, says Becky. My positive personality, says Zoe. Love it. Health, brain. Well, my ability to learn very fast. Health, optimism, stubbornness. So I'm surprised nobody got this, actually. Nobody said it. Access to the internet, health and empathy. To some degree, it's kind of subjective. But there's one key thing none of you have hit on. Our most valuable asset, the most precious gift everybody on the call has right now is time. Time. There's no point having your health if you're dead, having a great mindset and you're dead. You need time to appreciate your mindset and health and have opportunity in the internet. You need time. Guys, really take a moment to think about this now. Time. Time is your most valuable asset and your most precious, beautiful gift. If you're here and you're alive, you're able to appreciate that you've got time. And Nicola Fisher, just to say, she got it in there right at the end. So I want to give credit where credit's due. She did write time. Because look, when we do things that we're passionate about and we enjoy it and this is great, but sometimes we go, I would just do this for free because I just love it. It's amazing. But if you're living in a capitalist society, you're also going to say, well, things that I value is how I spend my time. There's loved ones, there's family, there's friends, there's pets, there's bills. And we need money to be able to buy that time. So think about time as your most valuable asset, your most important resource. And the thing about the resource of time is once it is spent, it will never come back. Let that land, guys. Once you spend that time, you will never, ever get that time back. So if you're spending time, lots of time, away from your loved ones, if you're spending time away from the people you care about, your friends, your family, your pets, your partner, if you're spending time where you're not focusing on you, your life goals, your self-care, your health, your well-being, whenever you're spending time not focusing on those things, you're spending it somewhere else. You're giving it to something else. And if you're giving that time away to somebody else, and you're taking it away from your friends, your loved one, your mental health, your well-being, your self-care, your goals, your personal goals, how can you put a price on that? Your most valuable asset and most precious gift. When we actually start to think about that, when we trade our time and we give it away, how can you even put a price on that? But now let's go one step further. Now imagine this. Now imagine not only you give that person your time, but you give them all your knowledge, all your experience, your wisdom, your skills, your talent, your passion, your expertise, your empathy, your understanding, your kindness. You give them all that. For minimum wage or an average salary, or you do it for free because you feel scared about charging, because you're nervous about actually asking for money. Just think about the reality of what you're doing. And the question I have for every single one of you, now you recognize and identify the power and the importance of time and the value of time. My question to you all is, are you truly getting paid enough for your time that you spend away from loved ones? Are you truly getting paid enough? So this is the mindset shift that I want to offer you today. If you give someone your time, you are giving them your most valuable and expensive asset. That's without adding on, you give them knowledge and experience and expertise and skill sets. Just purely trading in time alone is you already giving them your most valuable and precious gift. The second mindset shift to have around money is that money is simply an energy exchange, and it should be a fair exchange of energy. And I want you to just think about this one for a second as well. Money is about a balance of energy. Therefore, we want a fair energetic exchange. Now, I just want to be clear with the caveat. Sometimes it's important to do things for free because there is value in that. You know, if you're getting established or you're trying to prove yourself or you're learning and you're studying and that's going to enhance you, there are ways in which doing things for free is super useful, right? But here's the thing what often happens. People often give stuff for free for a certain amount of time and then they get scared to charge. And then there's an unfair exchange of energy. Because when you think of energy exchange and somebody's getting something for free, usually what's happened is one person is in the energy of giving, of serving, of helping, and the other is in receiving, taking. That's not a fair exchange of energy. When somebody's in give, and the other person's in take. So the question is that a good way to have a relationship with somebody when you're always in give and they're always in take? That's the energy exchange of a relationship when you're doing things for free for somebody. So I want you to just now personalize this and just think about this. Think about this scenario. Think about being in a position where you're actually charging what you are worth. When you know and genuinely believe that you have got some great value to give, you know you've got something that the world needs, you can help people, you're passionate, you're good at what you do, and people love what you do. You're in demand, they want and need you, your diary's full, you're getting paid £1,000 an hour. And you're working with great clients who think, oh my God, £1,000 an hour is cheap because of how amazing you are. Right? Think about the energy. If that's how you are, you're getting paid amazing money. You're massively valued. People want to pay you. Just write it in the chat now. What are the emotions? What are the emotions and the feelings when you're getting paid thousands of pounds an hour? People are grateful. People love you. You're making a difference to those people. How does it feel? Let's fill up the chat now with emotion. How does it feel if you right now were getting that sort of money? I can see Jen put happy, Wayne put euphoria, valued, proud, amazing, empowered, fantastic, grateful, awesome, excited, empowered, amazing, elated, value. That's the energy exchange when you charge what you're worth. And you deliver the value the person requires. It's a fair exchange of energy. That's the emotions. How are you going to show up that day? How are you going to show up in life for your loved ones, for people outside of work, when you're getting paid the money, the value that you deserve? Now let's flip it, and I want you to do the same. Just think about this for a moment. What happens when people always, always expect you to do things for free? What happens when you're the person that has spent years and years and years giving value, favor after favor? Oh, could you do this a bit cheaper? Could you do this for free? What happens when you see other people in your industry just as good as you, if not worse, getting more money than you get? And you're once again being asked to do it as a favor for free. Put it in the chat now. What do we get there? We can see resentful, exhausted, burnt out, tired, unappreciated, feel less, disheartened, resentful, disempowered, used, bitter, miserable, demotivated, flat, disrespected. You want to feel that way? Keep doing everything for free or cheap. And I would actually say it gets worse than that. Nobody wrote it. But you can start, when we talk about energy exchange, you can start to get desperate. I need money. I'm skint. Not only resentful, but oh, please pay me. Please give me this job because everybody else is expecting it for free. I need someone. Oh, I'll do a silly offer. I'll do stupid, cheap deals. Just please, can somebody give me some money? I need to pay my bills. Not just resentful, we get desperate. And what kind of energy is that? Do you want to work with people who are desperate? A lot of you are performers, actors. When you need the role, because God, I've not had a paid acting gig in 3 years and I need it. I need this to be one. Do you not think that casting directors can pick up on that energy? And then you actually repel opportunity. You repel money. You repel wealth when you start acting like that. And that's the cycle. When the energy exchange is not fair, when you're always in give, and everybody else is in take, that is how it starts to manifest. Okay? So really powerful exercise there just to start to identify the difference. So that's the mindset shift 2 that I want you all to take on board and adopt. Money should always be a fair exchange of energy. And it works both ways. You know, you need to make sure you're giving the value to actually warrant the good money as well. So that's what fair exchange is. Mindset shift number 3. If you limit what you charge, you will limit what you can do. Write that one down, please. If you limit what you charge, you will limit what you can do. Now, I know this one can be a little bit triggering, and I can get a little bit of stick for saying this. And I do get it. I want to be sensitive and mindful. You know, there are some amazing people that are struggling financially, that have got a heart of gold. You know, there's many, many factors, multiple reasons that will amount to why somebody is poor. But this is still true irrespective of that sensitivity and appreciation and empathy. It's still true that generally speaking, the people who have the least amount of money are the most selfish. Not necessarily nature-wise. That doesn't mean that they want to be selfish, but they are generally the people, you cannot give what you haven't got, right? So they're generally the people that, oh, I'm really sorry, I can't afford that. Oh, I know I said I was going to, but can I get my money back? Or could you do me a discount? Or I've got to pay my rent. Or they speak to the landlord, sorry, I can't afford my rent this week. Sorry, could you let me off? Could I get the discount? Or could anybody help chip in? Oh, I'd love to give to that charity, but I can't. I'd love to support that worthy cause, but I can't. I'd love to come to that event with you, but I can't. Those who have more to give. That's just a fact. That's just the reality, right? If you're charging great money and earning great money, you know, if I'm charging and earning great money in my business, I can reinvest that in my business. I can give an even better service. I can help people even better. I can employ more people and create more job opportunities. I can pay them better. I can give that better service. I can then have more profit, which means I can then invest in going to more places, treating my family, helping them have a better experience of life. I can then invest in charities and worthy causes and give my time for free because it's fulfilling and I want to help others. So if you're the sort of person like, oh, I don't like asking for money, it makes me feel awkward and I'm such a noble, good person, recognize you're being selfish. Recognize you're actually letting other people down by not getting what you want, deserve. You're letting others down. It's selfish not to have money because the people with the least are the people that need the most from everybody else. When you're self sufficient, when you're financially stable, you can give more to others. So this is why if you limit what you charge, you limit what you can do. And just purely from a business standpoint, this is so true. I've done it, guys. I've tried to put on the best events possible at a really affordable price. Guess what? I've lost loads of money and it's limited how good that event can be. There's a phrase that I've said for many years. You have to be selfish to truly be selfless. So the fourth one is, if you're good at what you do, you need to sell what you do. If you're good at what you do, you need to sell. You need to be great at selling. Like if you've got real talent, if you've got a product, a service, if you've got an ability that human beings need, you've got something of real value, a skill set, and human beings need that. Well, oh, I don't want to sell it. I don't want to tell people. I'm too shy. I'm too embarrassed. Once again, you're being selfish. It's your duty, your moral obligation to the world, to other human beings, to have that fair exchange, to sell. And then the final piece is money is simply a tool. It is not good. It is not bad. The money itself is simply a tool. And some of you will have heard this one before. Money is just a tool that we assign emotion to based on our experiences, beliefs, and values. It's just a tool that we assign emotion based on our experiences, beliefs, and values. We attach emotion to it. Money is emotionless. It's a tool. And I always remember, some of you will have seen money mindset expert Laura Ann Moore speak at our event. And I remember her speaking about money as a tool. And a great example she gave was, let's say we've all got to put up a wardrobe. And she's like, you got two key ways to put up that wardrobe. You can use a hammer and some tools, or you can do it with your bare hands. Now, anyone that's ever put up a wardrobe knows with a hammer and tools, it's still bloody hard work, right? But now say, I won't use tools, because you could use that hammer to hit someone over their head and murder them. It's disgusting. Tools are bad. Tools are evil. People who use tools have bad intentions. So I'm going to put this wardrobe up with my bare hands. When you start attaching emotion that money is evil or bad and it's greedy to want it, you're doing the same. You're saying, I won't use tools to put up a wardrobe because some people might use them to murder people. It's that logical what you're doing. It's the same. The hammer is not good or bad. The money is not good or bad. You as a human being are good or bad. Your intentions, your behaviors, your actions, how you sell, the value you give in exchange for that money, and how you spend that money will determine whether it's net positive or net negative, not the money itself. So let's stop blaming money or repelling money or thinking there's a problem with money. There ain't no problem with money. It's just simply a tool. There's something that I heard Tony Robbins speak about, and he spoke about that if you are poor, if you don't have money in your life right now, what he said is you have not conditioned yourself for wealth. You have not conditioned yourself for wealth, because it's about conditioning. Our beliefs and our values are based on the things that we've been given to us, the beliefs and values around us, the conditioning we've had as children, as adults. Right? That's the primary reason. And Tony speaks about, poor people are usually poor because they're around other poor people having beliefs and values around money that keep them poor. Just the same as wealthy people are usually around other wealthy people having beliefs and values that help them make money. A lot of poor people just accept the beliefs of it's not our fault, the country's rigged against us, it's the government's fault, the game is rigged against us, it's everybody else's fault, we can't do anything about it, we are helpless, all we can do is bitch, whine, moan, and protest vote. And they don't look at their bank balance because it makes them feel nervous. They don't want to talk about money. They ignore the whole conversation. Well, let me tell you this right now. When it comes to money, ignorance is not bliss. Not when you've got bills to pay. Ignorance is not bliss. You need to confront it. You need to look at it. You need to talk about it, think about it, be honest about it. And there's a quote that I heard once, which some of you might be familiar with. And it was something along the lines of, it's not your fault if you start out with nothing, but it is your fault if you end up with nothing. Personal responsibility. Another quote I've said many times, when you pass the blame, you pass the power. If you want to blame your past, blame the fact you haven't got a wealthy family. Blame, your skin color, your gender, your circumstances, your partner, your children. Every time you pass the blame, you give the power to the things you blame. Or you can take back the power and you can empower yourself by going, those things might be valid and fair and true, but every time I focus on them, I'm just disempowering myself. When I focus back on me and put the blame back on me, yes, but what could I do better? What could I change? What am I in control of, irrespective of what I'm not in control of? That's where change starts to occur. And in terms of lasting, genuine change, there's 3 key beliefs that you need. So if you right now, if some of this is resonating and you're like, fuck yes, I am done with not having the money. I am done with not making a change. I'm done with having limited negative beliefs around money. If you want to change that, there's 3 beliefs you must adopt. The first one is you must believe that this must change now. Write this one down. This is a great one. You must have that belief. Not, I kind of think it should. Not, it'd be good if I could have a better money mindset. Not, I kind of would like it to change. Not, I wish it would change at some point. No. You must adopt the belief today that it must change now if you want change. You must believe that that's important to you. Otherwise, it won't happen. Just the same with any goal, fitness, fat loss. If you don't actually, in your core, have the mindset and the belief and the attitude that it must happen now, it ain't going to happen. The second belief is this can change now. If you don't actually think it's possible, if you think the only time it can change is when we get a change of government, it's not going to change. You have to believe in the possibility that it can happen. And the third and final one, I can change this now, not somebody else. Now, we're just going to make this a little bit interactive here and get you thinking. I always say, I need you to personalize what I'm teaching here and not just intellectually go, yeah, that kind of makes sense, Matt. I need you to really evaluate and be honest with yourself. But I want to say to you all, look, please, nobody feel embarrassed talking about money or being honest about where you are, right now with money, because there's many factors that have led you there. And a lot of it is just lack of understanding and awareness, lack of education, right? So we don't need to be embarrassed. Everybody on this call, I know you all personally, right? And I know we've got some fucking wonderful, incredible, hardworking, determined, passionate, incredible, amazing people on here. So if this is difficult, please just embrace it. You don't need to be embarrassed by this stuff. But what you do need is to be honest with yourself, right? So let's just go through a little exercise now. Let's just really think about a couple of these things. I want you to just think now about your current financial circumstances today. And if you was to give yourself a rating out of 10, 1 being dog shit awful, 10 being amazing, I couldn't be any richer, I'm so wealthy and it's incredible. Just be really honest. What is your current rating out of 10 of your financial circumstances? And if you're happy to, you don't have to, but I'd love you to, if you're open to, just share it in the chat because that gives me feedback of where people in this community are at. So out of 10, genuinely, how good is your finances at the moment? So we've got a 3, we've got a 6, we've got a 4, we've got a 1, we've got a 3, we've got a 4, we've got a 1, we've got a 6, we've got a 2, a 5, a 6. Well done for being honest. That's the first step. Calling it out for what it is and acknowledging that. I just want to say thank you and well done. They're pretty low scores, right? And again, my belief is predominantly because our system hasn't set us up to be wealthy. So I don't think it's about feeling guilt or shame, but it is about being proactive from this day forward now and focusing on what you can control. So that's what I want us to do. So we've got our rating out of 10, and hopefully you've written that down as well as in the chat. The second thing I want you to gain clarity on is, where would you like that number to be 12 months from now, 1 year from today when we do this call again? Where would you like that number to be? Now, I want it to be realistic. I don't want it to be like, I want it to be 10 out of 10. Yeah, all right. If you're a 2 right now, it's a little bit, silly to go, you're going to be a 10 in just 12 months. So I want it to be, remember what I always say when it comes to goal setting, ambitious, but realistic. That's where you want to find the crossover. It needs to push you, it needs to be ambitious, but it also has to be, pretty doable, pretty possible. So let's just see where we're at now. So we've got 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 6, 6, 8, 7, 7, 7, 6, 8, 6. Brilliant. So we're up in that now. So some of us, we're going from a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and now we're going up to 6, 7, 8s in 12 months' time. Right, great. Make sure you've got that written down as well. This is all for you guys to take away today. So make sure you're writing this down. So you've now established where you currently would rate yourself, where you want to be a year from now. And then the third thing I want you to do is put a figure on that. So between now and next year, how much money would you need to earn between now and next year so that you can say, I've hit my target of 8. I've gone from a 4 to an 8. What would that sort of income look like? What would be a number? What would be a figure? How much money between now and 12 months from now in total? And again, it's going to be a bit hypothetical. It doesn't need to be exact, but just to give you something to get your brain. We talk about reticular activation system. How much? So you can start seeking it out, looking for it. And again, if you're happy to, let's share this. Let's inspire and be accountable. So Wayne said £80,000, Jen's 36,000, Mark says 70,000, great, 18,000, 30,000, 60,000. So we now know we've got 12 months to make 80,000 or 60,000, right? Or whatever it is that it is for you. Again, write that down, 30,000. So now let's do the maths. Do the maths. Everyone joined Success School thinking it'd be a load of fun about how it would be successful. And now we're doing our maths class, just like standard school. But let's just work this out. Again, it's not going to be exact because you're going to go through different seasons and you might make more one month and less the next month, just to give your brain a figure. I want you to now think about what would you need to earn monthly, weekly, daily. So if you break down that 12-figure sum, that 80,000, that 60,000, whatever, get your calculators out, kids, right? And divide it by 12 to give you your monthly amount that you need to earn from now and next year. Then break that down for your weekly, then break it down for every day. How much do you need to earn every day over the next 365 days to make sure you hit that target? We've got 2,500 a month, 2,500 a month. Yeah, great. But break it down to daily, 7 days a week. What would that be daily? Let's get that figure down as well. £200 a day. Well done. That's exactly what we're looking for. So we now know 7 days a week, we need to make £200 a day and we will hit our target. Now, remember what I said earlier? Doesn't mean it has to be like that. You might do one big launch of a product and make your whole target in 1 day, right? but it just gives you an understanding of how you would break that down. Wayne, do not dare be influenced, right? You set your number. If it's £80,000, go for 80,000. It is possible. That's not a crazy number to go for. £89 per day, great. So you're all getting clarity on these things. Remember, clarity is power. That's all we're looking for. So that we've got a specific target. But what I want you to think about is you might be going, okay, £200 a day, £166 a day, £89 a day. Okay, that's possible. I can do that. But then if one day on a Saturday you make nothing, the next day you need to make double to account for that day you made nothing. If you take a whole Saturday and a Sunday off and make zero, Monday you've got to earn triple that day. And what this is doing is getting you to realize there's opportunity every single day. How much money are you leaving on the table? By not putting value out there, by not asking for what you want, by not charging accordingly. So I want you now to just start thinking, how would you actually make that money? Is it that you need a pay rise? Is it that you need a new job? Have you just realized this job is never going to help me get to that target? I need to look elsewhere. Is it that if you're in business, you need to put a price increase? Or is it if you're in a job and you don't want to leave that job, is it start a side hustle alongside that job or have some kind of second income source, income stream? Is it if you're in business, you need to create a different product, a different service, or have a different business? I'm not expecting you to have all the answers, but I'd like you to just start thinking. Remember, you can watch this on the replay to come back to it if you need to. Really start thinking about the how. How would you earn that money? What are the practical things? What's the product, the service? Is it that you need to have that one big launch like what I teach those of you in Online Business Mastery to do? If you just put all your energy and effort, maybe you could do that 12-month goal in that one launch. Maybe we need to put more focus on that now. But what is going to be the thing that makes you that money? And I also want you to think about this. Money flows to the person with the most perceived value. Money flows to the person with the most perceived value. The question is, how can people perceive what you do as being worth more valuable? Everybody really think about this, right? How are you going to increase how you're perceived value-wise? Is it you're going to become more capable and increase your competency at the thing that you do? Are you going to get further qualifications? Is it that you're going to increase your energy, your effort, your passion, your credibility? Is it that you need to get clearer on your strategy? Is there a better way of earning money? Is it a different industry will perceive what you do more valuable than the current industry you're working in? Is it that you need support and you need someone to help you so that you can rise up? What is it that you can actually do so people start to look at what you offer differently? And you know what? You'll go a long way by just upping your energy, your passion, your enthusiasm, your self-belief, your self-worth. That stuff alone will make people expect to pay more to work with you. Right? If you're just like, oh, hi, yeah, I've kind of got this thing, and yeah, it's kind of like £2.50, and like, I know it sounds silly, and I'm being silly, but you know this, right? Just how do you show up? And not just with people you think are your potential target audience, with any human being. If I was to walk into you in Tesco's, not literally, I don't mean like nut you, I don't mean that. I mean, if I saw you in Tesco's, right? Would you be embarrassed? Because you walk in a bit like low energy, low mood, and then you're like, oh my God, that's that positive Matt. And hi. Would you have to suddenly shift your energy? Or do you walk in at Tesco with good energy? Morning. Do you speak to the strangers with good energy? It sounds silly. This is the attitude of people who make good money. because people want to be around you, right? So I just want you to think about what is going to make you be perceived as being more valuable. All right, what I want to do now, because hopefully that's got you thinking, it's got you a bit more aware of some numbers, but I want to give you 3 practical actions that you can all take on board. And this is whether you're in a job or in business, but it'll sound more towards entrepreneurial business ventures, but it can be applied to both. So these are 3 actions that I want you to write down and I want you to take on board and just be mindful of maybe implementing these things, okay? So become outstanding at just one thing. Remember this, people don't pay great money and give pay rises to generalists, jack of all trades. The people who get paid the most are the experts, the ones who are outstanding, who are excellent at one specific thing. This is a big one you really need to think about, right? How can you become outstanding at one thing? How can that be the main thing you talk about? You upskill, you get more qualifications on. Like, how can it be your one thing? Because people with no money, people who struggle financially, usually say yes to everything and become good all rounders and average. Oh, I'll do a bit of cleaning, I'll do a bit of dog sitting and cat sitting, I'll look after your kids. They're just low value tasks. How can you become outstanding and become known and excellent at one thing? And when I think about that, even, I know this sounds silly, but an example, even when I go back to when I started my first company, I was 17 years old when I joined a bloody tribute band. And a lot of you know this story anyway, but let me just make this practical real rather than just, oh yeah, it makes sense logically. When I go back to when I was 17 in that band and then 19 when I started managing us and set up my first business, we were obsessed with being number one. And yes, it's just to take that tribute, but we really obsessed about how do we sound as much like them, move like them, talk like them, look like them. The costumes need to be so accurate. How do we be the best? And it's not an accident. We won the award for Best Tribute 2 years in a row. We ended up on Graham Norton show on BBC One. We ended up with The Real Take That. The only band still to this day, 15 years later, that have ever been endorsed by Gary Barlow and featured with The Real Take That on BBC or any primetime TV. It's not an accident. We obsessed about becoming the best. And because we became the best, we went from initially charging about £600-700 a night to some nights being over £5,000 a night. Right? It's not an accident, which meant I had a very profitable business, which meant I could then employ a team of amazing staff to run that business, which meant I could take myself out of that business and start doing things that I wanted to do in, with the online space and the coaching. And that business still runs today and I do practically nothing and it pays me thousands of pounds every month because I didn't start out going, I want to be the best take that and at the same time the best business coach and the mindset coach and have a membership and have a podcast. I didn't start by trying to do everything really well. I became the best at one thing, award-winning at that one thing. So it might sound initially like a bit of a silly example, but even back then, this is the attitude that's got me to where I am today. You can't be a jack of all trades. And if you've already started to adapt and focus on one thing, that's not enough to just focus on one thing. Always be looking, how do I get better at this one thing? How do I become the best at this one thing? So that's the first practical thing you can all take away from this today. The second one then is to make a deeper connection with your ideal client. Now, ideal client is more of a business terminology, but if your goal after this session is to get a pay rise, your ideal client is your boss. Make a deeper connection with them. And what I'm saying when I say deeper connection is understand them better. Understand their expectations, their wants, their needs, their desires, their problems, their challenges deeper. Really get into the mindset of that ideal target audience, that ideal client. Because when you really understand them and know how they work, what they want, what they need, what they fear, you then know how to serve better, solve their problems because you understand what their problems are better, right? So when you really, really know your ideal client, when you really have thought about all their problems, all their challenges, all their worries, all their fears, that is when you become super confident selling to them, asking for that pay rise. And I've spoken about this previously, and I still stand by it. When I'm speaking to my ideal target audience, when I've got an ideal target client that is not paying me money and they're thinking about starting a business, but they struggle with confidence, whatever, I'm like, I absolutely know I can frigging help you. Within every bone in my body, I know I can get you the result. I know I can help you. I know I am the best man for the job. It's not fake because I've done this work. I've become outstanding at one thing. I understand my ideal client's problems, challenges, fears, worries, the blocks, the things that keep them stuck. I know it inside out. I fucking know I can help you. So when I say it's £150 for a call, you better bloody pay it if you want that help. It's not, please. All right, I'll do it for 50 quid. No, it's worth at least that times 10. So I've said this before, and I do on some level kind of feel that way. I think if I know you're my target audience and I know I'm giving you the opportunity to invest in working with me and you don't, I'm kind of like, good luck then. What a stupid decision that was to not pay me. That's the difference. Most people don't know their target audience enough. They've not become outstanding enough at what they do. They don't believe in themselves enough. So when they go, oh, it's 50 quid, please. It's because they don't know they can do it. I fucking do. And I know full well I charge 3 times less than I should. I know there's other people in my industry not as good as me, charging more. But I do it out of this sense of, I want to help people, and that's part of my mission. I want to be more affordable. That's part of my goal and my mission. So I have absolute, when I say it's only 550 quid or 550 quid to work with me for a whole month and natter me on bloody WhatsApp all month, and you only have to pay 550, I'm like, you lucky bastard. And you said no, you're crazy. That's literally how I feel. With respect, you'll go through your own process and you'll realize it was a mistake down the line, whatever. But I actually feel that way. That's what happens when you become, and it was the same with the Take That. We would show up every night like, oh, this is a shit audience. We'll turn it around. We know what to do with a shit audience. We turn up and go, oh, we'll be at a working men's club. We only normally pay 500 quid for an act. We paid 3 grand for you. You better be good. We are. And actually, we've done you a discount at 3 grand. It should have been 4. We are. And then the audience are all up dancing, singing. Told you. You see? It's not fake when you follow these steps. You don't go chasing money, it chases you. You literally, and I've done this, you block out your diary and you go, I ain't taking one-to-ones this month. I can't be arsed. Truth. Can't be arsed. I've got enough money. I don't need it this month. And then people message you, oh, is there any way you could fit me in this month? I really could do with working you. And you go, do you know what? I like that person. Yeah, go on then. Fucking hell, pay me 550 quid then if you must. It's such a different relationship with money when you follow these steps. Right? So I really want you to take this on board and know that it's not just fluff, it's not just theory. You can live this too if you really commit to it. Right? So that's the first two. Number one is become outstanding at one thing. Stop being a jack of all trades. Stop being really good at loads of stuff. Become outstanding at one. Number two, have a deeper connection with your ideal client, which on one part is understand them better. Understand their needs, their wants, their desires, their fears better. So you can solve those things better and serve those things better. But also on the other part, a deeper connection is speak to more of the buggers, right? Build relationships with your ideal client. Have more DMs, voice notes, phone calls, emails, go to more networking events. Make a deeper connection in that way, in the fact that you're actually speaking to more of them as well. So there's kind of 2 ways to think about that second part. And the third one is this: leave people better than when you find them. And I just want to spend a minute. This is the final piece. I just want to spend a minute on this final point because it's, again, huge. All three of these are huge, but leave people better than you find them. What we're talking about here is genuinely focusing on them more than you focus on you. You're going to get paid. That's what you get out of this. They get a service. So your focus is serve them, right? When you have that attitude and it's genuine, don't bullshit people. I've had quite a few that we've got a lot going on in our businesses at the moment, a lot, and it's all coming to a head. And I'm potentially buying two companies. There's a lot going on. It's a really busy time for me, a really exciting time. We've got lots of affiliates working with us at the moment. We've got a new course that we're launching. There's a lot going on, which means I'm talking to a lot of people and I'm dealing with a lot of people. And it fucking stands out like a sore thumb, the people that haven't done these kind of sessions. People, oh, I've got a great sponsorship deal. You can pay me £700 and I'll send an email to my list of 500 people. What? It's not a fair exchange of value. Well, it is. How dare you speak to me like that? No, it isn't. I've been around business 15 years, mate. Stop bullshitting me. Seriously, fuck off. Genuinely leave people better than when you found them. Don't fucking bullshit them and just be selfish and just be like, I'm just going to try and get the deal as best as I can for me. It's not a fair exchange of value. In other words, genuinely deliver the best service. And I always focus on over deliver. Over deliver. So promise them a great deal and then give them an even better deal. That is how you get wealthy, because people are like, Jesus Christ, I'll recommend you to everybody. I thought you was going to be brilliant. You wasn't. You was amazing. Shit, you're good. The energy you're getting on now for less than £5 a week, this one call. Look at how much, do you know how long it took to put these slides together and find that picture of Tony Robbins and get this book and find the chapter in the book? Like, for less than £5 a week, and you get the WhatsApp group, the Facebook. That's over delivering. Think about that yourselves. Genuinely. Don't just say, oh, yeah, I always over deliver. Oh, it's a great deal. I've got 500 people on my mailing list. No. It's one of my biggest, absolute pet peeves, hates. I've literally sacked people over it. There was a repeat offender that I used to work with who always was like, don't worry, pal, we'll get that done. Don't you worry, I'll do it. And they then were like, oh, we'll also do that and we'll do that. And then they didn't even do the basic. And then we're in the shit because they didn't do the basic. But they'd promised me. They'd done the opposite. Over-promised, under-delivered. People, when I sniff out over-promise, under-delivers, you're going to struggle to ever work with me again. Like, this is huge to me. This is massive. Right? And I'm probably more passionate than ever this week because I've seen so many bastards still have a poor person's mindset, which is overpromise and underdeliver, lie, say what you need to say, always need discounts, always need stuff cheap, always focus on what are they getting, unfair exchange of energy. When you focus on how do I give you the best service and over-deliver and get paid well for it, everybody wins. Right? So I just wanted to spend a moment with a bit of fucking passion about that one because I need you guys to really understand that, because that is how you're going to win. It's also got to be fair exchange, like I've said. I'm not saying like over-delivers so it's ridiculous. Like, one of the parts of like how this can work as a membership or my course, like both my membership and my course, I'm very aware from knowing the industry, are way more affordable / cheap than a lot of other people doing the same stuff and not as good stuff, right? But my focus is on let me get people on mass so I can really help a lot of people so that I still earn great money and it's still affordable to you. So then everybody wins. That's a fair exchange, right? So I just want you to really think about those 3 actionable steps after you leave this session today. If you can commit to nailing those 3, becoming outstanding at one thing, really understanding your ideal client and getting deeper connections with them, and always focusing on, in every interaction, every conversation, your aim is to leave them better than when you find them. I hope that gives you something to think about that's practical, that you can action, and you can now start to think about it in every interaction, every conversation. You know, play that game. Imagine if Matt walked into Tesco now. Would I be able to say like, see, Matt, You can tell that I've been on your session the other week. Look at my energy. Look at my spring in my step. Look at how I'm speaking. Or would it be like, oh God, I'm gonna have to put on a fake axe now because I'm looking miserable again. My energy's low. My mood's low. Play these little games with your mind. It's going to force you to up your standards. And when you up your standards, it's going to up your value. People are going to want to be around you. People are going to want to pay to get around you. Energy is a big thing. So what I want to do now is just take a little bit of time. Let's keep them quite succinct. Let's do a bit of Q&A, but just because